from where you at. I came here for vengeance, watch your back. No need to defend, I'm on attack. Sorry they can't reply, but I guarantee they had a blast. Pop, 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 I be on the next, so only I am fresh to death.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Long Haul Mentality. I am your host as always, Nick Bagley. I took last week off. As you'll see, I've got my little blue band there from getting blood drawn earlier today. I got some labs a few weeks ago and got some interesting blood markers back. Nothing that's got my health in concern, but definitely some stuff that had me feeling a little bit lethargic. And to be honest, I just didn't want to do it last week, so I didn't. I appreciate everyone who checks in. I appreciate all the messages that I've gotten recently about the podcast, and anyone who is watching this, I do appreciate you guys. Make sure you share it with your friends, like, subscribe. If you hit the notification button that tells you when I post another video, that also helps out a lot to let people, let basically YouTube know that people want to watch and see my content. So do all those things, share it with your friends, and help me out here. The more you guys watch these videos, the longer you guys watch these videos, meaning like start it and watch it all the way through, I get a watch hours notification or whatever, and I'm trying to hit a certain goal on that in order to monetize. So being upfront with you guys, please watch the whole video. I appreciate it very much, and I appreciate all the messages that I have gotten recently. I want to continue on just kind of talking through what makes a good bodybuilder, what makes a good lifestyle transformation client, and starting to kind of parse out what it means in order to be able to do any of this, to be able to make a transformation to your physique, whether it means to get on stage or whether it's just, I don't want to be fat anymore, or I want to be more muscular, or whatever it might be. You will see a ton of people who have the genetic gift to build muscle and have a really good structure. Maybe they're lean all the time, that kind of thing. And you wonder, well, why can't that person get on stage and do well? Well, it's because it takes a lot more than just genetics in order to be a good bodybuilder. If you don't have it right here, you're not going to make it. Plain and simple. The main thing that every single individual at the highest levels of the sport, or even the people who just end up turning pro, have in common is that they have developed a level of mental toughness that most people could not even fathom building. Obviously, aside from things like MMA, I think bodybuilding is one of the most difficult lifestyles or sports per se that there is, because it is a 24/7, 365 grind. As much as I don't like to use the word grind, because I think the grind mentality has been turned into this thing that kind of ruins people over time, it is a grind. It is something that you are going to have to fight against, and you are going to have to push and fight tooth and nail in order to get where it is you want to achieve, especially if the goal is to turn pro or win a pro show or win the Olympia. You're going to have to work really hard, and there's going to be a grind to that. If you only have the physical genetics of, like, I go to the gym, I build muscle really easy, and I stay lean, that's not enough. It's not going to take you to the level that you think it is if you don't develop the mental toughness alongside of it. I have been doing this for since 2019, so we're going on 6 years now of in-person training and online coaching, and I have dealt with a number of different people over the years. There have been a large handful of people who have joined the roster, joined the team, started to make progress, and could not keep it together when it came to either an off-season or a prep. They had it physically. They had the muscle, they had the structure, they had the ability to look the way you need in order to become a bodybuilder, but they either could not make it in the off season, they couldn't deal with the day-to-day grind, they couldn't deal with being fat, being exhausted, not really liking the way they look and doing it for an extended period of time, or they couldn't mentally hang when it came time to like start stripping the body fat off. And the God's honest truth there is that the large number of people who just are given that talent of like, I was born this way, are in that category of people who have not built a level of mental toughness that will allow them to be a good bodybuilder. Because just like the kid who is born to a wealthy family, whose dad has all the money in the world, who's just given everything he wants, there's a certain level of grit that you are not going to develop when things are just handed to you, right? And now that's not to say that like just because you are a genetically gifted individual that you can't also work hard and have these skills and stuff. But I have seen it enough times at this point to be able to make that statement that like there's a large percentage of individuals who have the genetic ability physically that don't have it together up here, that aren't going to be able to be good bodybuilders. Because let's be honest, like I said, it's a 24-hour day, 7-day a week, 365 day a week, 365 day a year job. It is literally a job. And anything that you have to do every single day that's not just like breathing is going to require a level of like dedication to something that you probably aren't going to want to do half to 3/4 of the time. Like you're not going to wake up every single day excited to do this same thing over and over, right? And it's the people who are like almost mentally delusional enough to like stick with something for that long, who actually achieve those things. Like there is a level of delusion of like, I'm able to do this and I'm going to be somebody in this sport that you kind of have to have in order to get to that level. That doesn't mean that like, delusion in the manner of like people who have never competed before going, I'm going to be Mr. Olympia. It's like, that's a different level of delusion, but you have to have a level of self-belief that you can create something with your body and your physique and your mind that other people are going to perceive it as delusional. They're going to look at you like, yeah, man, good luck, right? Like if you looked at pictures of me when I was first competing or first starting to lift and stuff, you'd look at me and be like, there's no way that guy's going to be big. You flash forward 12, 13, 14 years, like, okay, cool, I did it. But it took me sticking to that program for that long in order to actually get there. So the thing here is like, you can have the body all day, but if you don't develop that mental toughness and mental grit to be able to stick through those difficult times, you're still going to be a specimen as far as like, you're going to just look like that. Right. But if you're one of those people who's like, oh, I already look like this and I think I could do well on a bodybuilding stage, and you don't realize that like you're going to have to put in a lot of effort to the diet. It doesn't just come easy. You're going to have to put in more effort with the training. You're going to have to do cardio. You're going to have to monitor steps. You're going to have to take all these supplements. You have to do all these extra things that like, even though you are really good, in order to see your full potential all the way through, you're going to have to start checking all of these boxes, not just wake up, eat a little bit of food, go to the gym, and you'll just look like that. In order to achieve turning pro, winning a pro show, or going to the Olympia for the people who are genetically gifted, you are going to have to check all those boxes. You're not going to be able to just half-ass your way to the Mr. Olympia. That's not how that works. You're not going to be able to just half-ass your way into a pro win or a pro card win or even an overall win at a good local show, right? You cannot half-ass things and just hope that something's going to be handed to you. Like, there are people who can half-ass a prep and get on stage and win it all, win the whole show, and maybe they can even go win their pro card. But once you start getting into the pro ranks, every single most of the individuals who have pro cards are also genetic anomalies, are also people who have spent that time building the tissue and are either genetic anomalies or so mentally hardened that they're going to kick your ass every single day on every single aspect that they absolutely can. You step into that realm and you can no longer half-ass these things, right? So if you told me that I had two individuals sitting in front of me, one of them is a perfect genetic specimen as far as physique, but he doesn't really have the mental toughness and kind of half-asses everything he does. And then I have this guy over here who is not genetically blessed, but is willing to run through a fucking brick wall to figure out and make this thing happen. I'm taking this guy all day, right? Because this guy over here is going to do the things that I ask him to do and is going to spend the months, years, decades in order to achieve that goal. That is going to be far more rewarding than dealing with this half-ass specimen over here, right? Now, the people who are both genetically gifted and mentally tough, those are the people that you're going to see on the Olympia stage who every single year they're like, oh yeah, that person's going to be top 10. Oh yeah, that person's going to win this show. Oh yeah, that person, nobody can beat them. Those are the people who become that individual, right? They might not be that person at the very beginning because they have to continue to build their way up to that. But at some point you add the genetics and the mental grit to them trying to build the ultimate physique. They are going to be that person who people are scared to get on stage with 100%. Right. So if you are an individual out there who like, maybe you're not that genetic specimen, I'm not a genetic specimen. Right. But through the years of me learning how to bodybuild and sticking with this thing, even when I didn't want to do it, I built a level of mental toughness that a lot of people have never attained, that a lot of people couldn't attain because they haven't put themselves through that gauntlet. They haven't put themselves to the flame and gone, can I fucking handle this? So if you are that person and you don't have the genetic God-given talents in order to build muscle and lose body fat, understand that there is a certain level of mental toughness and grit that you can build that will take you far beyond that individual that everybody looks at and goes, that guy's a genetic specimen. So there is a massive aspect to physique development, whether it's getting on stage or just trying to go from a 400-pound individual to a 200-pound individual. There is a level of mental toughness that you can develop that will help you far exceed someone who has just been given those talents. So the number one thing that I want people to take away from this is the more you can put yourself through tough situations that allows you to build mental toughness, the better you are going to be in every aspect of your life. Right? The individual who just has a physique and was just born that way is probably going to struggle in a lot of other aspects of life. Like, just because you have a pretty physique doesn't mean you can make money. Doesn't mean that you can build a business. It doesn't mean that you can, who knows, put in whatever thing that you want to say there. That doesn't mean that they're going to be able to carry that God-given skill or God-given talent, whatever you want to call it, over to any other category of life. But if you develop that mental grit of, I'm going to bang my head against this wall until something happens, you can transfer that into any other aspect of life, right? Like, I took the skills that I developed through the discipline of bodybuilding and building myself mentally through bodybuilding and transferred that into my coaching career and into being a father, right? I have learned that through mental toughness and sticking with something even when I don't want to do it, that there are massive, massive payoffs on the other side of it. And that's the biggest thing that you can take away from this video here is if you develop a level of mental toughness that other individuals could not even perceive to think is a possibility, you are going to be far more successful way beyond just how you physically look, right? And at the end of the day, I think that is going to be the number one thing that you can take away from an endeavor like this, whether it's a big fat loss journey, just wanting to look better, wanting to feel better, or get on stage. Far beyond just how you look is being able to walk away with the mental skills that you develop through trying to do something that most people cannot, right? 90%, but that's a ballpark number, but I would say a large percentage of individuals who say, I'm going to get on stage, I'm going to do a bodybuilding show, either don't come in shape because they didn't actually really fully put their effort in, or don't make it, period, right? If you are someone who can get on stage and come in absolutely shredded out of your mind, put aside like how your physique looks, how much muscularity you have, if you are able to get absolutely peeled, all that other stuff aside, that tells me that you are someone who is willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish a goal, right? It is not easy to get that lean, right? And that's why when you go to an NPC show, like a local NPC show, 70, 60% of the people who get up there, you can look at and go, well, that guy's not in shape. And like, set aside the things of like poor peaks and that kind of thing. Like we're not talking about that right now. I'm talking about the people who get on stage and you can tell like you didn't diet hard enough, you cheated, or you just didn't diet, period. If you are an individual who can get on stage and people go, wow, that guy's shredded, that's a fucking win, and tells me that you have the mental discipline in order to accomplish whatever it is that you put your mind to. 100%. So I'm kind of starting to ramble at this point, so this is probably where I'm going to cut this video, but I 100% of the time will take the individual who is willing to stick with things and show me that they are mentally dedicated to something over the genetic anomaly who's going to half-ass everything. I'll take this individual over here every single time. So if you are someone who is looking to get on stage, win a pro card, win a pro show, or go to the Olympia, understand that, like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who have a genetic gift, but the thing that you can develop that they might not have is that mental discipline. Develop that mental discipline, and you can take yourself as far as you want to go in this sport, and then way beyond this sport, whether it's business, parenthood, like apply it to whatever you want. Anything that requires mental discipline, bodybuilding, or getting in shape and losing body fat and going through a massive transformation is going to teach you the skills that it takes in order to stay dedicated to something on the worst possible days. Plain and simple. So, again, I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, click that little bell thing, and I will see y'all on the next one. We have a cool guest coming on this week, and I'm excited to put that content out. Have a good rest of your day, guys.